Hi, welcome to Carrie Creates Cards. Today I'm going to have a play around with some alcohol inks on Yupo paper, and I'm going to be using some alcohol lift ink to create a different background, and also I'm going to have a go at stamping on top of the project. So I've tried this in the past, wasn't really successful, but I'm going to try a different method today, and fingers crossed, hopefully it'll be a success this time. So I hope you come along and watch with me while I give this a go. As I say in the video, it's trial and error. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. For today's card, I'm going to be working with some Yupo paper and some alcohol inks. I'm just going to use one colour today, and that's pink sherbet. And the Yupo paper comes in an A4 sheet, so I have it cut into 4, so I'm just going to use one piece of that, and that's my 5x7 card base. So just place them over there. So I'm just going to come in with the pink sherbet, and I'm going to put some of it down here and there. I want quite a bit of it actually. I'm going to come in with the blending solution. Pop a bit of that down. I'm just going to leave that mixed together. You can get lovely effects even just with one ink. The reason I'm just using the one ink is I want to have a go at stamping on the background. Done it before unsuccessfully, but I guess if you don't try these things, you don't learn anything. So I hope you'll stick around with me today while we learn, I suppose. I'm going to be using the Archival ink because previously done with the Versafine Clair and it just doesn't dry. I'm just going to come in with my heat tool here and dry that. Oops. Just going to use this stick to hold it down. And I'm going to come back in with some more of the alcohol ink because I want to get a few of those lovely ripples going on. A bit more of the blending solution. And we'll heat that up. So some of that I like and some I don't. So I'm just going to come back in here now again and have another go. That's the good thing about it. You can keep playing. Just bring that back in there and maybe turn it the other way. And it's looking quite nice. Maybe just another little piece here. We'll reactivate it. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that now. It's got the effect that I want. So we're going to have a play around with our background. Just put the lids back on those. And I'm going to come in with this word stamp, and I'm going to be using the alcohol lift ink. I'll also be using the lift ink in this form in a while, but for now we'll stick with that, and I'm going to pop this down on my acrylic block. Might need a larger block, even though that one will be easier to work with. So just need some tissue, and I'm going to ink this up. And you'll see nothing at first. I'm going to come in there. Just going to come and dab that. And as you'll see, I'll bring it a bit closer. The words are beginning to lift out there. Now, if I was to use a stamping tool, I could go back over it and make them come out even more. But it's just a subtle effect that I'm looking for. So I'm just going to ink that back up again. Just make sure I give it a good bit of ink. And I'm going to pop that down just there. Come back in with a clean tissue and just lift it. I'm going to zoom you in, and hopefully you'll be able to see that very delicate impression in the background there. So just one more piece here for the end. My ink back on that again, and as you can see, it's just a clear transparent ink that lifts once it goes onto the alcohol ink. It just activates with it and it lifts the ink up, so I'll place that down there. Now just get a clean piece of the tissue. Just tap that until you can see it coming back out. Another clean piece there. I can just give it a rub. It's a gorgeous effect. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm coming in with my stencil and maybe about there. I'm going to use one of these Tim Holtz stamping block. Well, it's not a stamping block, sorry, it's a blending brush. But I'm going to use this alcohol lifting and I'm putting it on. It's a little felt, that Ranger ink cell, little felt piece. And I'm going to pop some of that down there. Now you don't need a load of it. And I'm just going to rub it in there to the felt piece. Now the reason I don't go in with my ink pad is it would lift the ink off of the paper and totally destroy it. So with this, you just get the opportunity to go in and dab. You're not destroying anything. And I think that's probably fine. Go ahead and lift that. Just getting another clean tissue here. And you can see it coming off there on the tissue. So just keep going in with clean pieces so that you're not transferring back the dirty ink. And then just give it a rub over. I'm quite pleased now with that. As you can see, it's came out very well. So this is the part of the project that's a bit trial and error, but I'm not going to give in. I'm going to try and place this where I want it. May have to move this one in just a little bit there. Like I said, I've done this before unsuccessfully. Now I'm coming in with my Archival ink. It's just a black Archival ink. And I'm going to ink that up as well as I possibly can. It's kind of a sticky, it's different than the other inks that I've used. It says it can be used with water-based dye inks, acrylic paints and watercolours. And it's ideal for stamping over alcohol inks. So fingers crossed. But it's important to ink it up as much as possible. And you'll see why shortly. I'm just going to ink those up as well. Now it's the middle part here that usually I find is a problem, because it gets so sticky on the Yupo paper and the alcohol inks that kind of creates a vacuum in the center. So I'm just paying special attention, more so than normal, to this process. Now, as you can see, I haven't come in with my magnets and I haven't lost my mind. There's a method behind my madness. So I'm just going to come in and I'm going to press that down as best I can. To use my little tool here. And please pardon the dog. I don't know what's wrong with him today, he's just continuously barking. Sorry about that, I just had to go and leave him out in the back garden. It's a lovely sunny day here today, and hopefully it'll last. With St. Patrick's Day coming up and the parades and everything, it'd be nice if we got a bit of good weather for that. For the children, if nothing else. Now, I'm paying more attention to the pressing down than I normally do because even though it's on the stamping platform, I won't get a second go. Other than, I will, I suppose. Now, the reason I didn't put the magnets down is I want it to lift up like that. And I want to put something underneath it to support it if I can. Yeah, that might do. And I'm going to come in with this acrylic block and press it down. Like I said, this is totally trial and error. Or a learning phase, as I like to say. Everything is a learning phase in your life. Now I think that hopefully is enough. Just feeling my way there and getting the center of that stamp. And fingers crossed. Mightn't get a perfect impression, but hopefully it'll be good enough. There we go. That's actually quite nice. I know there's bits and pieces missing here and there, but it's not bad at all, and it will dry. Now, what I could do here, I'll just show you. Let's move this out of the way. I could come back in with my Archival ink. And I'm looking for a small brush that, have I one here? No, this one may be the best. So I can come in, pick up a bit of that ink on my brush. Just come in and dab over the part that's missing. Now obviously I can't do the detail, but it might just fill some of it in. Just on her body there. This isn't the best brush for this project, but you get the idea. Came back in with this little brush and tried to fill it in. I don't think it was very successful, but I'm quite happy with that the way it is. Now if I was doing it again, I might do the background on the stamping platform to get more of an impression with the word stamp, but it's quite nice. So I'm just going to layer this onto my card base, and I don't know if I just want to pop it on like that or maybe layer it with a piece of the black. I think I might just like it on the white, to be honest with you. Maybe the black then will pop a bit more. So I'm just going to pop a bit of double-sided tape on there. And I'm going to pop that down. Try to get it as even as possible. Yep, I think that's okay. And for this particular one, I think I'm going to pop a little sentiment on it. So I've just found this little stamp in my stash, and it says on it, "Believe in the magic." I think it's suitable for this one, and I'm going to ink that up with the Versafine Clair in Nocturne. So obviously I'm not going to stamp straight onto the card because it won't dry, I guess, and I may not get a great impression with the Archival. And then again, maybe I should try it, but I'll do it on a scrap piece again, as to not to completely destroy the card. So I'm just going to pop that down there. There we go. And now this little die that I'm going to put over and run it through the die cut machine just to cut it out. So there we are. That's cut out very nicely, and I'm going to pop that down. Just decide where I want to put it. No matter where I go, it's covering something up. I think that might be the best place, about there. So I'm just going to pop a bit of double-sided foam tape on it. Let's get my scissors. And maybe come out here a bit. Yep, pop that down. So that's my finished card. I'll just bring it closer. Now, it's not perfect, but these type of mixed media projects generally aren't crisp and clean and perfect. So, but I think it's very nice and I'm very pleased with it. And thank you for coming and having a play with me today, and hopefully we've all learned something new. Please like and subscribe. Thank you as always.